and we can ensure.
Ivan Mckee, followed by Donald Cameron.
Thank you, Presiding Officer. The motion before us today is about sovereignty and it's about choice. It's about giving the people of Scotland a choice in the future of this country. Presiding Officer, this is a truly historic event, and it's important to remember how we got here and how the historians of the future will narrate the events of this decade. A Tory Prime Minister playing games with politics, not expecting to win a general election outright, made a manifesto commitment he never expected to have to fulfil. His coalition partners dissolved into irrelevance, leaving him holding power he never expected to have to exercise, with no choice but to hold a referendum he never expected to lose. A shockingly bad campaign, Project Fear Mark 2, delivered the unthinkable, a referendum defeat. This despite the warnings from those who had witnessed Project Fear Mark 1 almost throw away a 30-point lead a couple of years earlier. No lessons learned. When the going gets tough, Tory Prime Ministers get going, out the door. Rather than clear up the fine mess they'd gotten us into, the Eton mess headed for the exit. The new Prime Minister, fresh from 6 years at the Home Office, where her main achievement was to completely fail to deliver her single objective of reducing immigration, takes over the top job with a single aim of reducing immigration. Rather than recognise the economic and political reality, the narrowest of referendum wins, 2 out of 4 nations opposed to Brexit, the impossibility of reducing immigration without trashing the economy, and the huge value to the UK of the single market, the new regime lurches to the right, tilting at windmills in an attempt to slay the UKIP threat by becoming UKIP. We talk of a hard Tory Brexit, but let us not forget what it is. The 2016 referendum did not mandate leaving the single market, and it did not mandate a no-deal exit, yet that is the direction we're heading in. So far, so bad, but then it gets worse. The Scotland's Place in Europe proposal offered Prime Minister May a get-out-of-jail-free card. She not only refused to recognise the opportunity it offers, but refused even to engage. Instead of giving UK businesses the opportunity to continue to trade within the single market from within a Scotland still in the UK, instead of grasping the differentiated solution in immigration to give both Scotland and the rest of the UK what they voted for, she continued to recite the mantra, Brexit means Brexit. So now we are where we are. A Secretary of State for Brexit who, after 9 months of preparation, has to admit to a select committee that he's done no work on the no-deal outcome his boss has stated may be the preferred result of the Brexit negotiations. Not only are we going over the cliff edge without a parachute, the driver of the Brexit bus hasn't even had a look to see what's at the bottom of the cliff. Meanwhile, individual Tories have turned from ardent Remainers, fully aware of the benefits of the single market, into born-again Brexiteers, helping push the bus closer to the cliff edge. Historians of the future will consider this catalogue of calamities, unintended consequences, short-term opportunism, reactive behaviour, atrocious campaign strategies and failure of government, and they will simply fail to understand why the events of these years were so hard to predict to those caught up in the middle of the melee.
Neil Findlay.
I wonder if he could tell us if he supports, should Scotland come out of the European Union, if he supports a referendum to be held for Scotland to go back in, should the First Minister's plan succeed?
Ivan Mckee.
Yeah, lots of ifs, buts and maybes. I fully support Scotland being a full member of the European Union. That's what I support. So why the UK government was so surprised when Scotland, tied up in the back of the Brexit bus, its proposal for compromise ignored, its voice counting for nothing, despite the myth of a union of equals peddled in 2014, decided it might want to talk about taking matters into its own hands. They will fail to understand how a UK government that could spend 9 months transfixed in the headlights of Article 50 and by its own admission had done no preparation for what might come next, was expecting to deliver a complex exit negotiation and multiple comprehensive trade deals in a time period only twice as long. And they will fail to understand the tactical errors currently being made, because now is not the time means there is a time. The principle of giving the people of Scotland a say has been conceded. It could never be otherwise. Yet Tory troops are sent daily to the media front line to argue against giving the people of Scotland a voice, a position that cannot hold. There will be a referendum. Yet instead of engaging in a debate on the substantive issues, the Tory Prime Minister has managed to shift the debate onto ground she cannot hold and an argument she cannot win on timing, on process, no thank you, and on who gets to choose. It would be inexplicable were it not the latest in a long line of strategic and tactical errors dating back to David Cameron's cunning wheeze to make a manifesto commitment to a referendum he never expected to hold and an election he never expected to win, making mistakes for the Tories becoming a habit. And neither will anyone be surprised, looking back in hindsight, when Scotland elected to excuse itself from the impending shambles and take the door-marked self-determination. That route is clearly marked. A Scottish Government manifesto commitment written with just this eventuality in mind, an election result delivering a mandate, a compromise shunned and a timescale that gives maximum clarity together with time to change course. The current situation is not of our making and we have worked to find a compromise, but Scotland now finds itself at a crossroads. We are faced with a choice of two futures and there is only one way to answer the question. The people of Scotland will have the final choice.
I call